Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, the misogynist villain. Misogyny is the hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against women or girls. It enforces sexism by punishing those who reject an inferior status for women and rewarding those who accept it. Misogyny manifests in numerous ways, including social exclusion, sex discrimination, hostility, androcentrism, patriarchy, male privilege, violence against women, and sexual objectification. Misogynists are notoriously hard to spot. They do not come with a label attached, and they may even come across as pro-women. We also notice this in the Disney villains, and one of them is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Gaston is strong and handsome, and exploits these traits to the fullest. While it's not clear if he considers himself as a good person, or not, the villagers very much do, considering how popular he is with them, and how they seem unaware of his true nature, and this serves to fuel his already massive ego. A narcissist who sees himself as superior to everyone around him, Gaston is proud, boorish, uncultured, greedy, short-tempered, bad-mannered, narcissistic, and sexist. He is also impulsive and arrogant, as evidenced by his setting up a wedding before he even proposed to Belle, under the expectation that she'd approve of becoming his wife, thinking she was in love with him. Gaston is cunning, calculating, and manipulative, which is emphasized twice in the story. First, when he comes up with a plan to blackmail Belle into marrying him by threatening to have her father, Maurice, thrown into an insane asylum should she refuse. Gaston is the kind of person who won't give up on his goals easily, no matter how much Belle evades him or however hard the humiliation he receives. He is determined to make her his wife. His persistence is such that he will go to great lengths and sink so low to ensure he wins. Gaston's view of women is extremely sexist and misogynistic, even by the standards of the time in which the film takes place. While he appears charming to all the other women of the village, such as the Bimbettes, who, being products of an upbringing in the village, grew up to see nothing wrong with Gaston's behavior, completely mesmerized by his muscles and handsome face. Belle is the only woman in the entire town to be able to see him for what he is from the very start of the film. He believes that women like Belle are not supposed to be smart, think for themselves, or get ideas, and he even tosses Belle's book into the mud in an attempt to get her to focus on more important things, namely himself. Because of this, Gaston's attempts to charm Belle always fall flat because of his chauvinistic, boorish behavior. His sexism and misogyny are also shown by the fact that he does not seem to even consider the possibility of fathering any daughters. As he states, he wants 6 or 7 strapping boys like himself.
We'll have 6 or 7.
Dogs?
No, Belle. Strapping boys like me.
Gaston suffers from obsessive love, which is shown by his intense infatuation with Belle. Indeed, he is so obsessed with her that he ignores all the other pretty women in the village who would be happy to be his little wife. Even ironically, those who technically matched Gaston's standards of how women should behave. When Gaston is singing about wanting to marry her in the opening song, he says,
"From the moment when I met her, saw her, I said she's gorgeous and I fell,"
implying that he fell in love with Belle at first sight. The Marvel Comics serial likewise strongly implied that he had feelings for Belle since they were children. These facts imply that another reason for his relentless pursuit of Belle is to satisfy his pride, which had been hurt by her rejection of his marriage proposal. Gaston is also adulterous, at least in the musical, as he states to Claudette and her sisters that his rendezvous with the girls will continue after he marries Belle, which makes it clear that he does not know or care that marriage is a one-woman commitment, or that it is supposed to be based on love and devotion rather than ownership of property. Notably, at the start of the film and musical play, Gaston did not seem truly evil. Rather, he was simply conceited, male-chauvinistic, boorish, and rude than a true villain. But as time goes on, his pride and obsession with Belle becomes so intense that it turns him into a twisted, sadistic, ruthless, murderous monster. Gaston became manipulative at this point. His speech to get the mob to kill the beast to protect the village was nothing more than a ploy to get them to help him infiltrate the castle. All he wants is to kill his rival so he can have Belle as his property. By the time of his death, Gaston feels that if he can't have Belle, nobody can. In an earlier version of the story, he was even going to commit suicide after killing the beast, as he knew that no matter what he did, Belle would never love him. The first signs of misogyny are barely noticeable, but with additional exposure to neglect, abuse, or lack of treatment, this behavioral seeding will grow larger and more prominent. But even when the misogyny reaches maturity and the tendency toward acting with hatred toward women can no longer be controlled, their ability to lure women in with their charm and charisma adds to the difficulty of spotting the early warning signs. Women haters, unconsciously, get off on treating women badly. Every time they can put down a woman or hurt her feelings, they unconsciously feel good because deep down in their hidden brain, their bad behavior is rewarded with a dose of the pleasure chemical dopamine, which makes them want to repeat the behavior again and again. Check out one of our newest videos here. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more videos about your favorite Disney and Marvel characters and the psychology behind them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.